Recording in progress.
Mr. Collins.
Just wanted to know where the room was.
Oh, so right, so let's see here. So minutes, we don't have any minutes for last month yet, do we?
We do, she can pull them up on the.
Okay, that'd be great.
But then just as a reminder, the minutes, the official minutes are the recording.
Okay, great.
And then these are just, what she just pulled up are just notes with timestamps of when things happen during the meeting.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Sorry, wait.
Great, so this is just kind of double checking some of those like little.
Yep,
Little
the official
tidbits about that.
motion would be in.
Okay, great. I think we can probably scroll down if that works for
Feel
everyone.
free to sit here. That's fine.
Off seats.
Yeah, I don't need the.
That's
Yeah, it's not all. I just know that that's.
Okay, has everyone had a chance to review the section? All right, we can keep scrolling, if that works. Maybe you're thinking.
Yes, we got more than mine.
Right, so everyone good to keep scrolling down? Yeah. All right, does anyone have any edits or adjustments to that?
I wasn't sure, I mean, my name is listed, but I wasn't here on December 20th.
Okay, oh, good catch.
I was in the Bay Area.
Well, with that one adjustment, I would entertain a motion to approve those meeting minutes.
Second.
Or
I'll move to
approve the minutes.
It's
It's been a minute. We'll consider it approved. Thanks, guys. And then staff reports.
I guess the only thing I have to report is that the dumpster mule RFP is underway. It closes on Friday. We currently have 5 submissions. So hopefully we get quite a few more, but that's just an update on that. That's all I have.
How many total dumpsters?
4, maybe 5.
Great. I guess for staff reports, I do have just one question about like the community collaboration RFP. Are we still on track to kind of release that, or is there any kind of updates as to?
We're still waiting to find out how the approval process works.
Okay.
There's a meeting on Friday with the city manager to find out if he wants it to go to an active meeting or not.
Mm,
It's hoping to know by tonight, but I don't.
sure.
But I can definitely shoot you an email.
Okay.
When I know exactly what the process and timeline for that going through approval is.
That would be great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I guess just one more question. I know we have a couple board vacancies. Have you heard of anyone kind of applying for the board, our board at any time or anything like that?
I haven't heard of anything yet.
Mhm. Sweet. I think that's all I had on my notes.
So then number 4, I guess that's me. So we have the mural submissions. We'll let Emily get this pulled up. What I'd like to do is a little different than what we did last time, because it took us a really 2.5 hours to get through 13 submissions for the Centennial Tunnel. We have 19 qualified submissions for this one. So in lieu of it not taking as long, what my thought is to first do like a precursory look at just the design.
Mhm.
And then maybe pick, I'll leave it up to you guys, but like 6 or 7 top ones that we'll then do like the true scoring on and dig in deeper to what they submitted if you want to look at that. But we know that they have to be qualified. We know that they have to have shown. So what we did on the staff end was we went through them and put together a spreadsheet, same spreadsheet I put it together last time. And just made sure that they all marked the boxes for showing that they had the ability to do it, showing that they had previous experience. So we went through and did all that part ahead of time so that you guys wouldn't have to spend 2.5 hours, probably 3 in this case, going through it. So that's kind of where I want to start. Is by doing that. I do have the scoring sheet like we did last time. And if you guys would just take one and pass it, we'll take some for this time.
Did we want
Mine.
do we want to score everyone?
So we're not gonna score everyone, but you can still notate on here, like if you what usage. But that's gonna be like the first round, we'll go through all 19. So maybe kind of just keep track of the ones that you think, and then we'll just have a short discussion and to decide what those 6 to 7 are. And then we'll go through again and do the full scoring. That's what I'm thinking.
Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Did we in past meetings want to leave a space at the beginning of the meeting for public comment? Or
Were we doing it? We were, I forgot, because I know now that we have it at the end, but
I'm just thinking if folks, we have community members that may not want to sit through 2 hours of jury, or maybe it's interesting and great, but yeah.
yeah, no,
I mean, it's up to you if you wanna, you can move agenda items around. If you feel that there's something that needs to happen, you can do that.
Maybe we could have 2 public comments today,
sure.
one at the end and one to start things off.
Yeah, I think that's all right. If that works for everyone. So that way, we don't have to have members of the public to sit through.
Well, I mean, if they want to, that's wonderful, but.
And I'm just gonna make a point of order just so that you know, I don't know if there's public comment today, but just know that public comment doesn't always have to be a discussion. If you feel there's not time for it, you can always decide like, okay, we're interested in this topic and we're gonna put it on next meeting or something, just so you know that.
Okay, thank you.
Because you do have a long meeting.
Definitely. Yeah, all right. Well, with that, I'd like to ask if there's any public comment. Yes, Jeff and Paige, whoever would like to go first.
We've had informal conversations about what I think might be referred to by the collaborative about the possibility of bringing a proposal forward to the committee that I've been ready to do for quite a while and have been waiting for the process. And is the collaborative thing the same thing or is that something different?
Yes, that is the portal that we've been talking about, that community collaboration proposal for some specific funds to be set aside to sort of co-fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that answers my question because I have a project ready to go. I have 60% of the and I've just been waiting. And I have 2 other grant applications, one submitted and one in process. And I just wanted to know if there was still any possibility of that. I don't think it's appropriate for me to go into any detail, but I would be happy to if you wanted to hear it.
Do we have our timeline? For
I
when
can
we're-
make it
for
very
when
short.
we're going to
Mhm.
have the grants, is that
So-
funding available?
I believe our hope, the hope was that it would be released in February. And that application would be available in February, and then we would review those in March. To then hopefully, at least if everything's able to kind of go according to plan, and then hopefully then go before the commission by April. To then make sure to award those funds no later than June 30th, I believe it is where those funds need to be allocated for. But that's kind of the timeline that we've been able to kind of work through, especially with all of these RFPs that we've been kind of working on
Yeah.
in the meantime.
Well, I saw that stuff go out
Mhm.
and I wondered if this was still a possibility, and so you've answered my question. I think both of you know what I'm talking about. I can give you 3 minutes if you want it, or I'll just stop.
I think,
I think we won't be thinking about it until March.
yeah, I think definitely that's something we would love to discuss more as soon as we have that, application available. And that's something, when it is, we can kind of reach out
Okay,
and kind of let you know that that's available. And
that's
so,
great.
Yeah, we would love to.
I've been watching the website.
Yeah, so we put together our proposal of what that call will look like, and now it is in this witness court to vet the process and make sure that it's manageable for internal systems.
Great,
And so then we're in the waiting spot
okay,
as well, so.
Mhm.
and so within a month, hopefully it'll come out, including how much money is available.
Yeah, I think in the next, well, yeah, I think that's hopefully that's our plan.
Okay. Okay, well, you've answered my question. Would it be rude if I left?
No,
No, not at all, not at all.
We'll make sure you get that when it comes out. You'll be on.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
You'll
appreciate
be the
that.
first to know.
Yeah, there's another question, but I don't know that it's appropriate, but I have funding from other sources, and if I cut out a section for you folks,
Mhm.
can I proceed with the other stuff? Because I have $10,000 cash I'm sitting on, because I don't want to start because grantors don't like to pay for something that's been done.
Mm,
And if I cut out a part, that's my plan.
mhm.
I don't know whether you can answer that, but it might be something for, is it Bridget,
Yeah, I'm Bridget.
for you to know if that's an acceptable part to, it's a $20,000 project, and I hope that asks you folks for 5. So anyway, I've got everything except $1,000 assigned. I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'm gonna get anything from you, but I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So,
Sure, thank you. But yeah, we'll definitely let you know as soon as that's available.
thanks.
Thank you, sir. Can we get your name for the record?
Yes, I'm Chip Clausen.
Thank you, Chip. Thank you.
Do you want my address?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah, thank you so
Chip.
much.
Okay.
Thanks, Chip.
Yeah, and thank you so much.
Yeah.
And Pete,
The damaged signal box, was that the one next to the school?
what's that one next to Carroll College?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then a second public comment, well, public question, I guess. How many board vacancies do you have? You guys dropped the youth member requirement?
We did, I believe, and that there's 2 vacancies right now.
Right, that was it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, with that, I think we can get started here on our mural review.
Okay, for those that didn't do this last year, the scoring form here. The way this works, you'll write your name at the top. So we will have you turn these in at the end. And basically, for this first round, we're not gonna do these 1 through 6. You could do 6, I guess, if you wanted. Which is your overall impression of the design. So basically, across the top, there's 1 through 20. I know it says 20, there's a 17 missing. Because we disqualified 17 today when we realized they didn't have everything. But so as we go through, they're all just numbered. Everything is anonymous for you to, so you don't, you're not seeing people's names and things like that. So yeah, as we go through the first one, just like I said, overall impression, and then we'll backtrack and then you'll actually score through this, and it's a scoring of like 0 through 5. Which is that color part at the top. So basically, 0 is you don't agree, don't like it, whatever you're grading on here. And then 5 strongly agree, so anything in between. And then at the end, you'll composite your score for each one. And then we'll have to go around the table and you'll give me each your scores, and I'll composite everybody's together. And then at the end of that, then we'll talk about the top 1 or 2, possibly 3, like we did last time, that scored the best, so that you guys can How about the consensus of which one you want to move forward as your recommendation? Any questions on that process?
Yeah, could you tell us about the 6 again? It says 7 criteria, but I see 6, and then you said only we
Oh,
don't need to do
that's a,
6.
so there's only 6 criteria. Sorry, I totally copied last year, so I realized the train part was a criteria.
Yeah.
I take that out. I took that out.
And thank you so much for putting this together. I know it's definitely no small feat, so thank
I
you.
only did most of it this time.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, so we'll just start scrolling through them. Tell us if you want us to stop. For most of them, there's a couple images per design, so.
Gotcha.
Can everybody see it okay? Is it? Okay. All right, so this is number 1, primary clouds. Yeah, so that's it. Number 2. Past and present. You can definitely go back through it again too, if you just want to kind of see a precursor or something.
Are we to assume this is a black and white painting? Or
Good
they've got
question.
details?
They might say more in their details. I don't know, do you remember?
As far as I know, it's black.
Okay, looks like maybe they used a photocopier, so.
Yeah, probably. There's some shading, but I'm kind of not sure. Wonderful, crazy fun time.
Yeah.
Name. It's a great name.
I think they asked their Oriole, what should I name it?
Right.
I should name it Super Crazy Fun Wild. Number 4.
What was the name of this one again?
Echoes of Connection.
Great, thank you. number is this one? 11.
11. What number is that?
16.
Okay. Eyesight's off. 16.
Okay, so that's all 19 of them. You guys want us to go back through and look at them one more time, or do you have some that you think we can eliminate? Guys are comfortable with.
Can we do one more round through? Is that
Yeah,
okay with
absolutely.
everybody? Just to, it doesn't have to be a long.
Gotta go to another meeting, but good luck.
Thank you.
I just wanted to
Glad
see.
you got to
them.
see more.
Going through that second time was really helpful.
Yeah, I changed my opinion.
Seems like I had about 7 that kind of rose to the top, but I'd be interested to hear about it, what everyone else.
Yeah, I have 5 favorites.
I have three fives. I have 3 of my favorites and then some that I'd really love to hear what everybody has to say about.
Maybe we should go through like to say number 1, if anybody wants.
Yeah, does that maybe, yeah, I guess we could just kind of,
Just
If
show
there's- if
hands
there's-
for each one. So
Yeah, if
we
there's
could
one.
discuss one.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good plan.
All right.
All right, so starting with 1.
Loved it.
All right.
I'll keep
There's
track.
one. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, number 2.
I think we can eliminate number 2 then.
Yes.
Okay, number 3,
Loved it.
I enjoyed that one.
okay. Number 4,
I'd like to see that one again.
5. Wow,
Uh-oh.
how many there are there here? 1, 2, that's okay. Number 6. Okay, it's safe to eliminate that one then. Okay, number 7. Okay, number 8. Graham's not sure, 3.5, no. Okay, number 9. Okay, let's say we'll eliminate number 9. Number 10. Number 11.
Oh, yeah.
Number 12. 13. 14. 15. Safe to eliminate. 16. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, eliminate. 18. And 19. Okay, we'll eliminate 19 and 20. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13 of them. Can we look at the ones that only one person liked and see if anybody else wants to look at that?
Discuss it. Yeah, I think that's a good.
And Emily, you might want to scroll through them, but number 1, the first one, was just had one person.
Well, I'll defend that one by saying that I think it looks like a fun thing that you can see from a long ways away. It's iconic. I love that it doesn't include anything stereotypical about Helena or Montana. I'm personally quite bored with wildlife, meadowlarks, cathedrals, fire towers. I love that it doesn't put thoughts in my head, and I think that it would be fun if I was a kid. I would want to run through that, and
That was my thought too. The
Yeah.
kids would like it because it's right by exploration, so
Yeah.
primary
I think it
colors.
fits brand for
but-
children having fun. And again, I like that it doesn't put thoughts in my head. I can think whatever thoughts I want when I'm walking through that tunnel.
I will say the one challenge that came to mind for me for this one is it kind of looks like it could invite graffiti and
Yeah,
tagging. It
There
kind
are
of,
some spots that,
it just kind of is asking for it. And kind of a street art style that like,
Yeah.
is
I
very.
see your point too. Yeah, those could be like little bubbles.
yeah, you could add to it a lot.
I would hate for it to become another graffiti.
Right.
We already have one of those. It's good.
Okay, so is the consensus to eliminate
I'm
it
happy
or
to
move it
eliminate
on?
it just on that grounds that it likes graffiti.
I did
Yeah.
appreciate that it was different though. I will say that.
Okay, and then number 12, just had one person.
Oh,
Can you see 12?
yeah, I liked it just because I like the color.
It's really
It's
pretty,
really
yeah.
warm and
Yeah.
it's soothing. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah.
I really
It
like
is a
the
nice
painterly
palette.
aspect, like it's very, soft and.
It's muted and nice. Let's move on. So different one?
Yep, so we're eliminate that one.
I wanted to keep it or eliminate it. Okay, that was 12.
12. Yeah, I liked it, but I didn't love it,
Yeah.
I would say.
And then the very last one, number 20, at 1.
Yeah. Oh, well, then again, it's just, I like the style of painting and it has that real sense of watercolor and flowing. I'm not crazy about the hands. I don't really understand exactly what the meaning is behind the two hands, but I'm going like just with what I like is the color and the way it flows. It feels like, again, kind of like a watercolor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know more about the artist for this one. I think voice is important. You know,
Yeah, it's hard for watercolor to then kind of translate to murals. I
Yeah,
can't imagine
Yeah.
how somebody could, it would be quite the challenge.
and it seems to be about like uniting indigenous folks and colonizers and
yeah,
making it okay. And so in that sense, I think that who the artist is important to that. Of like, I think more context is needed for me to go for it, but
What's the name of this one?
United in past and present.
just because I think there's still, there's very much a lot of hurt
yeah.
there. And so I wouldn't want to endorse something that is going to cause further pain or misrepresent like what that pain actually is and the sources of it and wash
Mhm.
over it. That was my hesitancy towards it. So I'd be interested in seeing the application, but those are my reservations personally.
How many did we vote for that had more than one vote?
I was gonna go to the 2s next.
Okay.
Let's see, there was, well, we eliminated so far, we eliminated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We eliminated 8. So that leaves. So it's 11. This is an art committee, come on. Yeah, so we definitely want to get it down further. I mean, if you guys want to hold off and we'll see, we could go to the 2s.
Yeah, let's go to the
Okay,
twos
so
and kind of-
number
we're
2
still moving
are,
pretty efficiently.
yep, number 3 had 2 votes.
Yeah, I love that one because it stands out. It's got some 3D qualities. It's a color palette that you don't see around very often. It'll make a big splash.
I had the same feeling of just like fun and diversion and permission. And it seems like an artist, but like with graffiti concerns, they seem like they are okay with detail and like tessellations and things. I feel like we could ask them to amp up their detail
That's true.
in some of those blank spots to be like, hey, this was the committee's concern about the design. This one I felt like had more potential to address some of the graffiti concerns than the bubble one or the clowns one.
Mhm.
I think with this one, what I think of is that those colors really don't exist in real life as far as neons and stuff go. So you wouldn't really get that vibrancy that, it's like, or it would fade out and, like all those reds would fade in a year and all just kind of look like a pale yellow
Yeah,
or an
that is
orange.
all
It would still look, it wouldn't have that same dynamicness that it does
have, like,
here.
pop.
Yeah, that
And that
really
kinda
makes
makes
me
it.
like it
Yeah.
on the screen, but I'm not sure if it would translate to walls as much. Interesting. That's a very good point. I wish there was neon green paint like that. I mean, there's like the contractor paint, but even still, it's like those colors aren't meant to be vibrant for very long.
Okay. Yeah.
especially if it's outside, getting like, when, you know, all
Totally.
the wear and
That's
stuff,
true.
so,
Wind tunnel,
Red in the sun just turns to pink.
yeah,
totally.
so that's a good point. But I do like that.
I think even in a faded state, the pattern would still hold up and be at least as vibrant as any other colors. Another design. I stand by that one. I think that's a contender for me.
I would too. I think it's worth a conversation.
Yeah, definitely, if we could maybe learn more about, kind of diving in a little bit more about, you know.
What I'd like is to see a few proposals that are not nature-based alongside the nature-based
Mhm.
proposals, I think. That's what you mean about it.
True.
Okay, number 7. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the colors.
I voted for this one. I really loved the all the shapes and then just the colors again, because they seemed really bright and just kind of some different you know, colors mixed together that just weren't your average, you know, kind of things. And just seemed like it popped.
Yeah, I love
So
all the shapes too.
yeah, it kind of gave me like quilts, like vibe, like a textile maybe or something, but yeah, that's what I liked about that one.
It kind of reminded me of a coloring book, actually.
Yeah,
Someone
but
with like a
it's-
really nice marker set.
I mean, but again, when we start talking about the graffiti, that's something that I hadn't even considered, but now I look at all these, but it's, you know, it's fun.
Emily can correct me if you remember, but I think this is the one where the artist offered a color by number for like the community to come in and help do a paint by number on this one.
Oh,
Do you remember
Is that
this
just-
one? I think it's this one.
that's pretty cool.
Do we have that squirrel around here?
I don't think we
Oh,
do.
Squirrel lives here?
We have a lot of red squirrels, but they're not native.
Okay, that's important.
Yeah,
The
they're,
maple.
the native ones are the little black and gray ones that you see out actually in the woods,
Okay.
but they've been pushed out by the red ones.
Mm.
The red ones are bigger.
Okay, number 11 is the other one, the last one that had people.
I love the colors on this one, but it tastes like overcooked broccoli.
It's what?
Like when you cook
I
it,
understand that. I like the mountain a lot.
It's gummy.
If you scroll down a screen, Emily. So I agree with you guys with the wildlife. I'm like,
Yeah,
but look at the detail.
Yeah,
It does look like, I didn't try
That
the
is, yeah,
yeah,
that's why I like it.
eliminates.
it's hard to graffiti all those details.
It feels like an advertisement to me. It feels like
But
they'll find the worst possible spot.
yeah,
Yeah, I liked the kind of different colors too of the mountain scene, but it had those bright, you know, greens and purples and pinks.
Purple Mountains Majesty,
Yeah.
Yeah, it did have
Bucket
quite
Fruited
the array.
Plains.
Pretty nice for overcooked broccoli.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I eat
Eat it.
okay, guys, so
Yeah,
I mean, it's your time.
Yeah.
So it's, you guys didn't eliminate any that had 2 votes. So I guess I would leave it up to you. Do you want to look at all the twos or do you want to just eliminate all the twos or what do you want to do? Or something. in between?
Eliminate all.
Yeah, I think that, then that, we can see what that leaves us with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Everything else had 3 or more. That leaves us with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh.
I think that's doable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. So, if you want to pull up the individuals, we'll just start with the first one, which would be number 4. And this is where we'll do the true scoring. And if you need us to, if you'd like us to read that aloud, we can. Or if you just want to sit in silence and read the stuff, it's up to you guys.
I think I'm good with, yeah, silence.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, someone
And
else
get
is
through
gonna
it
sing
quickly.
it, but-
I could read it if you like.
Mhm. You have a great reading voice.
Professional.
Max is a
voice
voice
actor.
actor, yeah, literally a scout.
Please,
Will you read?
would you like me to?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I can't see a single word.
Unless we're recording, so.
Lindale Avenue Tunnel Mural Project, mural proposal. What the Meadowlark saw, bright, energizing, optimistic. This mural is about the magic of the overlooked, the magic of the smallest things. The bitterroot is such a proudly determined plant. They are most often encountered in the rockiest soils, opening their delicate faces to the bright mountain sun in the springtime. They remind us about resilience, about thriving amongst challenge, about reciprocity, about generously supporting those around us. They remind us that we are all part of the same environment and ecosystem. Along the walls of the tunnel, western meadowlarks soar and dance, leaving paths of color in their wake. Birds have an incredible ability to bring us into the present, remind us about our awareness. What do the meadowlarks see? Where are they going? Can we participate in the great ballet of everything the way that they do? If we pay attention well enough, perhaps if we follow them, we can be suddenly and entirely aware of how alive everything is and how inextricably linked we are to that aliveness. This mural is about hope, about presence, about optimism, despite challenge and adversity. May we all be like the bitterroot and turn our faces to the sun.
Number was this again?
This is number
Number
4.
4.
You want to trade off reading?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just looking at
Yeah, this one's so long that I don't know,
Yeah.
it might take us too long.
I
Yeah,
would tell you guys too that some of this part
Paraphrasing.
is just like what we use to qualify them.
Gotcha.
This is talking to their experience, their ability, their timeline. So I probably wouldn't dive too much into this until you get towards the top couple maybe, but
Mhm.
just because it's very time.
where is the city of Magna? Is that in Montana? So they did a
So there's several that are out of staters and there's some that are local.
Mm.
And we tried as much actually to kind of keep that from you,
Mhm,
just
yeah,
because it doesn't,
we don't want that to get affected.
yeah, that's why we didn't post the resumes in here, because I know last time most resumes gave away who they were.
yeah, right.
So trying to just keep that fairness and this person's listing that they've done 25 projects, they've done outside painting. I think if she continues to scroll, you'll see some examples of work.
25 projects in your
Oh, I thought we were talking about. We can skip over that.
Well, that's
Oh, here's some previous books.
Mhm.
Oh, Salt Lake City.
that's really.
So proof of.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I like the use of all those really saturated, rich colors.
This is number 4.
Correct. That's the end of that one, so feel free to take time to score if you wanted to go back up to anything, let us know. Just speak up.
Just look at the main picture again. Yeah. Or there in the picture. It's the one that is correct or not. Wait. Okay, I think we're ready to move on to the next.
Okay, next one is number 5.
Says the mural will incorporate a seamless transition from sunrise to sunset, emphasizing the passage of time and the connection from Centennial Park to the Great Northern Town Center, providing a sense of safety and familiarity. Key elements are the Crow Creek Falls and Elkhorn Mountains, Centennial Park, Missouri River, and pathways will weave through the mural, connecting different scenes, emphasizing the accessibility and convenience Helena offers.
This one was a pink by number thing.
You know what my friends?
Any more sample images to this one, or are these just the 2 pages?
No, it's just.
Okay.
Was one above that.
Oh, yeah. If we look back at the original concept. This one. Nice, can we see it just a little bit bigger by chance?
It's redundant to have a picture of the park you're about to walk into.
We're walking out of,
Out of, yeah,
in a, in a crowd. Right, is everyone finished with scoring this one, or do they need a little bit more time?
Okay, number 8. Is Louisiana wildlife.
Which number was this again?
Number 8.
Yes. What's that?
Anyone need more time, or are we good to keep moving along?
Number 10, wildfire. Is it about the designers or more about their?
This is just looks
so that's their.
Like a cover letter.
Remarkable cliffs that we have been seen yet. Meriwether Lewis.
So this one's actually about the fire and the
Mango.
wildfire. And the, yeah, that's it.
What's this logo? Is that the
That's the
fireman's
smoke jumpers seal.
jumpers logo? Okay.
Man Gulch Smoke Jumpers.
That's underneath there now.
In tribute to the
Yeah.
1949 Man Gulch Smoke Jumpers.
Yep.
Can we see all the text and things that's on the inside?
There's, this is on the west side, there's old growth on the left, on the top banner, then forest fire, new growth, changing environment, and then I'm guessing the names of the wildlife.
Yes. Zoom in. And then just
That's all I
scroll
can
over.
see. Beaver.
Yep.
Elk. Brown trout. Um, Beaver.
Know your Man Gulch wildlife.
Oh, gotcha. So then there's the most remarkable cliffs that we've seen yet by Meriwether Lewis. The sign will say Gates of the Mountains Wilderness, Helena, Lewis and Clark National Forest. Then there'll be another sign in tribute to the 1949 Man Gulch Smoke Jumpers. And then it'll go into like the description of old growth. So dense forests rob lower plants of sunlight. Many plants and old trees die and pile up, creating the perfect fuel. So it's like forest fire education. Ponderosa pine description. Forest fire prevention.
Concerned by lightning or people. The only two ways. It's gotta be
Spontaneous combustion.
spontaneous combustion.
And like
Smart
Uh,
squirrels.
Advanced.
ones.
Yeah, the red ones. They
They came in and killed all of them.
They did.
The
That's who
natural.
is lighting all the fires.
Grown. Yeah.
So then they're going through bitterroot, kingfisher, sleeping giant, mayfly, rainbow trout.
Okay,
Spoiler.
right, yeah, we should. Now, sorry.
They have a font differently.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're not
This
wrong.
is the graphic designer.
Yeah.
Any more time to score or we can move on? Okay, sounds good.
Number 13, Wilderness Symphony.
11 got marked out.
It did.
Oh, it did.
Was 11 the poppies?
11 only had 2 votes. 11 was one that didn't have a name.
Now, which number is this?
Number 13.
Yeah, sorry, we could just keep moving along to 13.
Embracing the spirit of Montana's untamed wilderness, this mural titled Wilderness Symphony weaves together a breathtaking tapestry of local wildlife against the expansive canvas of abstraction. Located on the interior and exterior of the Landale Tunnel in the history of Helena, this mural will, in the heart of Helena, this mural will serve as a vibrant celebration of the diverse fauna that calls this majestic state home. On the north-facing wall stands a grizzly bear and black bear, their fur rendered in rich blues and golds. The bear is surrounded by a tableau of colors and shapes, each specifically chosen to capture the essence of Montana's landscape. On the south-facing wall, you look into the eyes of an elk and bighorn sheep, their curved horns silhouetted against the backdrop of rugged, sharp shapes. As you enter the tunnel, the mural seamlessly transitions into a pair of hawks soaring through pools of color. These birds embody the spirit of Montana's vast skies and untethered freedom that characterizes the state. The color palette of Wilderness Symphony mirrors the state's changing seasons, from the warm gold hues of autumn leaves to the cool, serene blues of mountain lakes. The mural invites viewers to immerse themselves in the ebb and flow of nature's rhythm. Hopefully, this piece will serve as a reminder of the delicate dance between humanity and nature, encouraging passersby to appreciate and preserve the wild beauty that defines the soul of Montana.
So it's big. It's a big one.
Do we need any more time on this one? I don't know.
Okay, number 14. Voting.
Suggestions on flower selection.
Yeah, their examples of their work I'm finding to be so much more informative than their design proposal.
Yeah, just their first picture, I was like, wow, that's a
Yeah.
lot more detailed than when they said that.
Which makes sense, but
Mhm.
maybe for next time when we jury, we should start with their work examples.
Mhm.
Do you think? I don't know. I don't know. That's interesting. Maybe that would make it harder to eliminate.
Can we see the proposal design again?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, number 18. Queen of the Rockies.
Redacted. The most compelling places to live find themselves at the intersection of two elements, an accessible landscape that surrounds and creates a strong sense of place and community and a community of people that create meaning through their relationships with others, with the natural world. This painting is an attempt to convey a sense of Helena's surrounding landscapes and the love that people here hold for it. The compositions depict the land's wild denizens and bucolic mountain scenery, as well as people recreating and spending time amongst the landscape. The north face depicts Mount Helena above the tunnel with mountain bikers descending the trails on one side and a person with a large cutthroat trout on the line on the other. The south face features Mount Ascension with two groups heading up the hills for a hike on the right, and the left features Montana's state bird and mammal, the western meadowlark and brown bear, respectively. Native wildflowers and evergreens dot the landscape between these distinct narrative pieces. The tunnel contains two quilt-inspired series of graphics. On the east wall, there are a series of alternating pattern motifs intermixed with folk art-inspired fish, grizzly bears, trees, birds, and flowers. The west wall's main feature is a colorful abstract typographic image that depicts the city of Helena's slogan, Queen City of the Rockies, framed by two western meadowlarks on one side and a sun motif and mountain and elk design on the other. Can we read what they were saying about graffiti deterrence again? Is that positions below arms reach about 96 inches or so are painted with detailed imagery. No large blank areas were left that might invite graffiti. I have found that the areas with flowers, animals, and characters are especially graffiti resistant, as those characters are more compelling. Oh. This is 18.
Yes.
And here, we do like if you're gonna roll our amounts and How should we kind of?
I would like to see, as we were talking about the context of number 20 and how difficult it is to put watercolors on a brick wall, can we see the previous examples of murals for the artist on number 20? That might show what they actually deliver after.
Super wordy. Not a lot of,
I think that those were all the.
That was
Sure.
an example.
Many.
I think it'd be a beautiful painting, especially that one on the very bottom. I
Mhm.
really love too. But I just don't see it like how it could work on the mirror.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to have seen a more finished concept
Mhm.
to be able to really
Yeah.
give it
Yeah,
some
those-
stronger
how
opinion.
does- yeah, these spots.
Like I really like that bottom. That's probably for the inside.
The walls, yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's like, how do you put that onto
Translate.
Yeah,
It's
translate.
200 feet long.
Yeah, they're not gonna be using
Very pretty.
watercolors on the wall. Okay,
Okay,
Yeah.
so, yeah, if anybody's ready for their scores, I'll happily take them. Or do we need to look back at anything? Does anybody have anything incomplete? We need to look at?
I don't think
Okay.
so.
Okay.
You guys do.
we just pass them to you or read them off?
You just wanna read them off, it's a little bit easier, but whoever,
Okay.
anybody's ready.
Number 4, I have 19. Number 5, 25. Number 8, 20. Number 10, 17. Number 13, 23. Number 14, 19. Number 18, 25.
Next for number 4, I have 22. 5, I have 27.
Oh, I thought 25 was the max we could get because we weren't doing number 6.
Oh, 5. Let's see. Did I do
No.
math wrong?
Were we
30.
doing number
30
6?
is
We were scoring number 6 as well.
Overall
Uh,
impression?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
thought you said we
Oh,
were.
sorry. We
Okay.
we
Never
can come
mind,
back
my
and do
scores
this
are
again.
not the same.
That's fine.
Yeah. I remember you said something about not scoring number 6.
Like, that's been really nice.
Thought I was
Okay.
scoring everybody quite high.
All right, look, we'll come back to you. All right, so number 4, I have 22. 5, I have 27. 8, I have 25. 10, I have 25. 13, I have 26. 14, I have 24. And 18, I have 30. Okay.
4, I have 28. 5, I have 27. 8, I have 25 and a half. And
Did you say 25?
I did. Sorry, you just say 25. 10, 29, 13, 29, 18, 30.
Did you have number 14?
Oh, I didn't do, oh, I'll say 25.
I can come back.
Okay,
If
yeah.
you wanna take some time, yeah, go ahead, okay.
4, 27, 5, 29, 8, 26, 10, 24, 13, 28, 14, 27, 18, 24.
4, 30. 5, 27. 8, 25. 10, 30. 13, 26. 14, 24. 18, 28.
For number 4, I had 26. For number 5, 28. For number 8, 25. Number 10, 27. Number 13, 26. 14, 24, and 18, 30.
I had 14, 21.
I knew I should have.
Last time I was doing things like, meh, or-
Yeah.
And I brought an extra one because I remember last time I was like, do you have another one in this?
I was writing opinion. Yeah.
Okay, 4:22. 5:30. 8:23. 10:20. 13:26. 14:21. 18:30.
So, short recess while I
Sure.
add, you guys.
Yeah.
My calculators. Fingers are in charge of the buttons.
That's how I feel about it too.
I wonder to start it all, but
But it can be over.
yeah, I've had enough.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, I just got a school email, it's 11 inches.
Roll Rex.
I got that one too. I'm like, I didn't know 11 inches. Are they serious? I thought like 5 inches.
I mean, I think it was at
That's
least 5
a lot.
inches already today, you know, from this morning. At least, I don't know, I swept a bunch and then I came home and there was already like
Yeah.
a couple more inches. That's my guess at least.
Was that?
Math.
Yeah. You know, we were told for people.
You're good at
You could have it.
Not in my head. It's like my foot in order. I was like, that number first. What's the highest number?
How's your puppy doing?
He hates this one.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think he'd love going outdoors, but when it's 30 below,
Oh,
I open the door, he runs from the living room all the way back to the kitchen.
this is punishment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got yesterday for a good hike.
Oh, good.
How about yours?
He also resists the cold. He does this a lot. Prances around.
My dog stops at the bottom of the stairs to come and have like Just, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And it's not just one, several of them do. How are you guys doing? The balls are open. Come on, you're almost there. You're almost here.
Right.
Yeah.
And my chihuahua lasts all of 9 seconds until it's just like.
I know. When I call them, I'm like, one of them doesn't come. I'm like, help me. Did you freeze? I've only been out here for like 45 seconds.
Does your dog have like a little jacket to wear?
Oh, she wears it very begrudgingly.
And little booties?
Oh, she's like 3 pounds, so it's like to even get them on paws that tiny, it's just like.
Do you have to like hold her over the snow?
Okay, there's fun. I did like to try like 4 times until finally like in 9-second intervals. It's like, okay, back in.
Okay, guys, this is your number one pick overall, number 18. It had a total of 117. Looks like 4 of you gave that one a perfect score of 30. One of you gave them a score of 28, and then the lowest score was a 24. Number 2 or second place, not number 2, second place with 168 was design number 5, which is the Echoes of Connection. That one. Might be easier. Do you still have the other thing up or? No? Okay.
Yes, I do.
Um, yeah, that's number 5, that's number 2.
How many points did that one get total?
168. No, not far off. Scoring third is number 13 with 161. The Wilderness Symphony. The third, fourth was fourth was a tie with 155, both number 10 and number 4. Number 10 is Wildfire. And number 4 is what the Meadowlarks saw.
Gotcha.
And 5th was number 8, which was Montana Wildlife with 149. And 6th was number 14. Those one of the poppies, with 141. Number 14. I'd say it's up to you guys for discussion and decide how you want to come about to your recommendation.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I'd be interested to hear what you guys all think, but I would be fine with just discussing the top 3.
Yeah.
And then from there, we can kind of come to a consensus.
Yeah.
So maybe we can start with the one that was in 3rd place then, which would be number 13.
Yes.
Bears.
13.
Yes, sorry. That was fun. Yeah, I mean, I think all of these were just such talented submissions. I think, you know, I'm just really stoked with all of the submissions that we got. But yeah, this one I think is just very different for Helena.
I think so too. I love the idea of a grizzly bear's open maw at the beginning of the tunnel. I think
Yeah.
that's really fun and exciting. And I really like seeing this artist's examples of other work.
Yeah,
That gave me a high degree of faith in the success of the mural, and I'd be excited to see what they come up with.
they're definitely very talented.
Yeah, same. And walking past those birds right up close in motion, it's gonna be a awe-striking
Yeah.
thing to be right next to a giant hawk like that.
Yeah, I like that they focused on predators too, you know, I think that's
Yeah,
something that isn't often like.
thought about. And yeah, I think for me, what I kind of got held up on is like when I don't really think of bears when I think of Helena
That's true.
necessarily. I think of I could definitely tell this artist kind of had the Montana scope in mind, but maybe not so much like a Helena centric understanding of this place. But I think generally for Montana, it definitely hits the mark.
I wonder if we could ask for a lion or something.
so it
Like a
represents both
mountain lion.
high schools.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do worry about bears, you know, and then kind of reference different college teams in the state.
On the south side.
Things like that.
It's a type, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to have a lion and the bear, definitely, not to offend anyone
No, it's Helena, actually.
in our comments. Yeah, and especially with it being so close to another college too.
Or did they show the other side?
Something to consider. I do love that other side though.
The plant eaters are on the other side.
Mhm.
Safe.
And it's like the mix of really kind of graphic street art with the kind of soft background.
Can we look at their examples of their other murals again?
Yeah, I feel like the big pictures of bears and things will invite people to take photographs and post them on their social media when they visit Helena. I think that could be an iconic thing.
Especially like the big bear mouth open, you can stand there and like do silly.
Yeah.
Put your child in front of you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think of what's that one kind of wildlife center on the edge of town where they've got the deer?
Montana
Montana Wildlife. If this was a tunnel directly next to that, it'd be like 100% yes. But yeah, I just kind of get held up on that.
Leads you eventually out there.
Yeah, right?
That's
It
true.
does.
It is all
totally
connected.
does. It is on that Centennial Trail.
Yeah.
It's a great point. But yeah, I guess maybe is there any more discussion that we want to have on this one, or do we want to move on to our number 2?
Echoes of connection.
Your finger's gonna get tired. I think what I really liked about this one was the community involvement aspect. Is I think really why, you know, it struck me, just knowing that that's something that in itself would garner a lot of community involvement. You know, if people, you know, being able to say, I, you know, helped with that, you know, creates a lot of kind of community pride, really similar to what, you know, Elise was able to do with involving different folks, even on like the small scale that she was and the big impact it had. I think this would have a way bigger opportunity to involve more people, especially if they're willing to kind of factor that into their process. Is there a way to kind of zoom in a little bit more? I'm not sure if there's even much more detail in that. I think too, on the flip side of that for me, it's like it doesn't really, it doesn't really give me any strong feelings, you know, or evoke you know, I think it would be very accessible to that end. But I'm just not sure if, yeah, what I'm saying there, but it's a safe choice.
It is, it's very comfortable.
Can we see this artist's other work as well? Yes, thank you.
Okay, does anyone else have any other thoughts kind of for or against this one, or?
Yeah, I see what you mean when you mention how comfortable it is and how it's not doesn't challenge you much. I feel like we've got an opportunity to put something on these walls that makes more of a splash than this.
Mhm.
I think that's well said. Great. With that, would we want to move on to discussion of our topic?
Great, and we just go straight to the proposals.
What's this again? This was 18.
What's the project called? Did we read that before? Can you go up? Did we look at that?
Murals are vital to public space because they transform utilitarian structures into canvases of community identity. Through simple application of color, a wall can become a springboard for inspiration and the mundane can be made sublime. The goal of this project is to transform the walls of Lyndale Tunnel into a vibrant place where people find inspiration and see the love of place reflected in their environment.
Yeah, what I love about this one is someone who really kind of understands, I think Montana understands this place without being, you know, so literal, you know, it kind of paints a really big picture without having, you know, without having to focus so much on literal iconography. I also like that, you know, it's got that childlike sense of wonder, but in a very high artistic skill that I think would be really great for its closeness to exploration works. And also too, for, you know, thinking of like Carroll students who are kind of incoming, who might not be from Helena, you know, this might be one of the first places they walk, and it really does help kind of create a sense of, you know, a kind of a big picture of, you know, what this place, you know, all the different things we might have here.
But like exciting and still like fun and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, without being a literal representation. And I don't think I
I like
see a
what
fire tower.
Exactly.
I don't think
I love it.
It's hard to grab.
Yeah, which I'm
Right.
totally okay with.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, non-literal
like-
No
representations.
sleeping
of place.
giant.
I love the
all that
abstract text too, because I think
Yeah,
text,
that is really
text
nice.
is one of those things that invites graffiti.
Yeah.
I personally want to start scratching L's out and make the words say different things or
Totally.
add letters where they're not supposed to be.
And
That's fun to look at.
I like the quilt and the folk art
I love
piece
it.
of it and like the repetition, like
Yeah, and I didn't realize that it says Queen City of the Rockies there,
Yeah.
like in a very abstract way until,
Yeah.
which is, yeah, really, really cool.
Yeah,
it's a
it's so
smart
detailed,
design.
yeah,
and
it's
also very accessible.
really cool.
Yeah, and this is a way to be very palatable, like not controversial at all, but also challenge people visually and like bring them into some metaphor.
Yeah, it's unexpected. It kind of invites curiosity. And too, just similar to Elise's, you know, each place you walk is a different photo backdrop.
Yeah, there's so much to see and look at.
And the figures aren't just like portraits of the animals, you could have a conversation with a child and say, oh, what are they doing? What's going
Yeah.
on in this?
Like they're moving and
Yeah, it's more
throughout the
storybook.
scene,
like-
yeah.
There's something happening.
That fish. Yeah.
Yeah. That fish is-
Yeah, I'm all in on that one.
Mhm.
Like, it satisfies my desire to make a splash. as well.
Right, and like, I
If we're
like,
covering up a tunnel, we should do something cool with it,
Yeah.
instead of
Totally.
just
Make it-
more of the same.
Yeah.
yeah, and this artist doesn't have anything in Helena to my knowledge either, which I think, yeah, is very,
It
you know,
looks
very
very
exciting,
original. Yeah, it looks really
very original artist. Yeah, not like anything else that we really have here in town right now.
Yeah, I'm on board. Can we see this artist's other work as well, one more time?
Love that on
Yeah,
the
this
back
one,
of the
their
wall.
proposal and their artwork match. Like there's not a lot.
Yeah,
They have a voice.
They're
That's what
pretty
they're
things
trying to
to do.
say, and it's
They know what they're
very-
doing.
Yeah,
that's true.
they're a
You've got their
designer.
style dialed in.
I love that black background. It's really nice.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and the style is very, he's
Yeah.
very renowned artist, very vindictive, or not vindictive, there, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like
Indicative.
indicative, thank you.
But it is like, yeah, you're right.
That's-
But yeah,
That
Yeah,
one is
that's
so
something
cool
that-
too. And I love
Mhm. Like just that
The
flat
style.
and vertical kind of.
It's so
top.
much to look
Really
at.
love
Yeah,
that.
it really
Like
just.
Grandma Moses
Yeah.
paintings,
Uh-huh.
Grandma Moses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
well, I could think, is there any other kind of discussion that we'd like to have, or would anyone be interested in entertaining, you know, a motion in any such direction, or anything else we'd like to look at?
Did anyone feel like they had feelings about this that they did not support or want?
Good question.
That we should give voice to and listen to?
Yeah, or any concerns or anything like that?
I mean, yeah.
Just-
Or like something else better?
I'm just wondering about some of the shapes in the tunnel, those larger blocks of color. If regarding graffiti, I think that was the one. thing.
That's a good point. Those could be little frames for graffiti.
If that could be changed up.
Maybe, yeah, I mean, you can't really change their design, I was just gonna say, cause I like how it says that Queen City of the
Mhm.
Rockies in the
Mhm.
abstract. Maybe it just like some more detail. But they did have that whole part in there about how, you know, things that were below the 96 inches were gonna be extra detailed so as to minimize
Totally.
graffiti. So
What-
it seems like they already had that in mind
Mhm.
for there,
Except where it says Queen City.
except for where it says that, yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole bottom.
That whole red line, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like maybe,
I
The
think
gold
too-
circle.
Because his style is so unique to him, you know, that anyone trying to tag or add anything, it's just gonna feel like so out of place, that hopefully maybe that will help, like, factor
because
in.
it's so busy
Mhm.
already, and
Right.
then like the whole point of someone tagging something is, you know, they can see it, but it's like, if it's so busy, so that would be my thought.
I'm less afraid of the graffiti on this one than I was on some of the other designs.
Yeah, I'm less afraid of the graffiti and more excited about the painting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
excitement's overshadowing.
Oh,
Yeah,
my fear.
I like
I
it
think so.
more.
I think it's
yeah,
like with an artist that we're really enthusiastic about, I think
Mhm.
it's a calculated risk.
exactly.
Because I don't know that we can change their design and then keep the integrity of what they're doing with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
And-
can't say, okay, do this, and then we'll take your paintings.
Yeah, because it's kind of an essential piece of the whole idea, and so I think it's something that's like, well, with a strong enough concept. I think that is a piece of our criteria that we can say, well, we've taken these other measures. I don't know, that's something I'm comfortable taking that calculated risk, I suppose, and then relying on like, well, we're doing anti-graffiti things. If the design wasn't strong enough, then that would be something that I would lean on heavier.
Right. I agree.
Also, of all the places to clean graffiti off, and this is one of the most accessible spots.
Absolutely.
If
You drive the-
if you gotta wash some graffiti, that one's, you can just drive the power washer in there.
Absolutely. And especially if, it will have that graffiti sealant as well. So in theory, if there are any issues, it should be
Easily,
really easy.
And then I think we should probably like, in whatever way we are allowed to, advocate for security cameras in the tunnels in Helena, just in general.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah, not just for graffiti.
Not just for graffiti.
There's other
but-
issues.
Totally. I think hopefully with some of those issues that these tunnels have, just art like this really does make it feel like, it's a space that belongs to everyone. And
Yeah.
hopefully that will
It's
have
just
kind of
less scary.
repercussions. Yeah.
It deters
Makes it,
yeah.
makes it a lot less scary.
It does. I don't know why, but it does.
Yeah, and we talked about some artistic lighting in there someday in the future too.
Right.
Are there any of the other top threes that people would like to see again? And dig into more?
I know which one's definitely risen to the top for me. I'm not sure when would be the right time, but Paige, what do you think about any of these?
Well, just as a Helenan, there's kind of like the stereotypical, oh, I want it to be a Montanan that does it, or even a Helenan. So I'm concerned about like, what is this artist's personal connection to Helena if they have even visited here before? Because that's, if they haven't even experienced Montana at all, it might lose public support, but I think the design is really good. I love the bikers, specifically because Helena's a biking town.
Yeah.
At least on the mountains. In town, it's depending. And then there's just a lot of motion, and it makes your eyes go around, and so you're not just stuck in one spot and have to go, oh, okay, now I'm gonna look at this. I think it's very fun, but just the personal connection of the artist to Helena or Montana would be very important for Helenans.
Absolutely. And we're definitely gonna hear about that from folks.
Yeah.
Um,
I would also support the idea that like we should be bringing in artists from other places, because part of what I think
We
is
want to be inclusive,
Yeah.
I don't want to be like,
like Montana is great. And I think that there is like that pride in sort of being isolated from the rest of the country. But then I also think that that's one of our weaknesses as well, is that we tend to self-isolate as well. And I know that I am really curious about what the national conversation is about public art. And I love visiting Philadelphia and seeing their mural tours and public art everywhere, and seeing how other places don't have that kind of territorial idea of artistic voice.
And I think too, it's just what's most important is just the context, them having that context to that sense of place. Whether they're, an out of stater or not, it just makes it a little bit harder for them to really capture the essence of somewhere unless they've been here.
And I think you talk to people who have lived here for 35 years and still aren't considered a local.
Yeah, right.
Are like grandparents and have raised their children and their grandchildren here and are still like, well, I'm not from here, so I guess I don't get a say. And I feel like we can challenge that and just say, no, we can be a place where people
There's also a reason why
exist.
we judge this anonymously, right?
Right.
It's to be able to say, we didn't give preference to, locals, or we didn't just, not
Right.
including
It's on the
people from the
merit.
state. It's really based on
The art.
the art.
Which is what it should be.
Yeah. I mean, I love the fact that our last mural was a local person,
Yeah.
especially a Helenan. And I have to admit that honestly, her one this round is my favorite.
Yeah.
And I was actually, God, does it have to be the same artist, you know? Cause I like,
Yeah.
it's
I
like-
know it's later.
yeah, but it is my favorite, and I think it's just because I love the colors, and it's about an event. A
And
very,
it's so educational. and
yeah, a
it's
very famous
relevant.
event that happened locally that a lot of,
But isn't commemorated in town very well.
it's not, yeah. So
Yeah.
I loved that one because of that, but yeah, I think we can't, I agree, I mean, we were part of we were the people that had to take the fountain down. And
Yeah.
our department had to do that,
Oh,
and it
no.
was awful.
Awful.
And then it was awful when the new one came up, and all we heard about was some artist from California, right? Like, there's just so much backlash, like, completely
Yeah.
understand what Paige is saying, and that, you know, who knows, I honestly don't remember if this is where this artist is from, but, I mean, it's just what the city deals with,
Absolutely,
you know, I
Can't
mean,
please everyone.
you can't, so,
No. And this one is not covering up a hurt in town, the way that the sculpture and the fountain were.
mhm.
pretty yeah, loaded objects.
I didn't even know it was called that until after
What?
I didn't realize what the fountain was,
The equity fountain.
or no,
The Confederate.
Oh, right.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's not actually the name of it, but it was given that name later when it became political, but it was always the Fountainhead Park.
Yeah.
But that was the name of it. But anyway, so do you guys,
I move that we approve this as the design for the new Lindale Tunnel.
Okay.
All right, before we take a vote, is there any public comment that would like to happen?
I mean, as long as you guys are willing to face public backlash in case this guy or gal or this person has never even stepped foot in Montana. But I think that they've captured Montana so well that I'm like 99% sure they've at least stepped foot in Montana. So yeah, I think it's good.
Great. All right, well, all in favor of recommending the number 18 submission for the Lindale Tunnel project, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll consider it moved.
all right, would you like us to reveal the artist?
Sure, I actually already know it. I've been like,
You do.
Reveal.
yeah, Josh Quick. Oh, right. I only know him because as a graphic designer, I've followed him for like a decade, and I didn't know he was gonna apply to
You
this.
can access the,
So you use your
the
graphic design degree.
I do, oh yeah, all the time, mostly just to judge fonts.
And when it's Comic Sans.
Yeah.
they're like, oh,
You're the Pyrus.
Papyrus. I didn't see that, that's enough.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh, but yeah, I
It's a
think,
different name that's submitted.
Oh,
What
is
name
it?
did you say?
I thought it said
I thought it
Wyatt
was quick.
something.
Yeah,
Josh Quick, I thought it was Josh Quick.
yeah, I don't know, unless they're partnered.
Oh, they might
It's
be.
Wyatt Percy.
Oh, well, I'm wrong then,
Ah,
but it looks just like a Josh Quick.
Josh Quick has been ripping off Wyatt Hersey for years.
Actually, either way, I'm just so excited about this, and I think this
I
mural
think it's gonna be
is gonna
amazing.
be absolutely perfect. And I think, yeah, it's gonna be hard for anyone to not love it. Yeah, I totally.
Exploration works is gonna be thrilled. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we already got our public backlash just by proposing the
This is
thing.
not on the screen.
Yeah, exactly, we got that.
Listen,
Did you like the controversy about this one?
oh yeah, you should be
Yeah, I
feeding the
missed
poor, you should be housing the homeless, why are you giving $15,000 for
What
art?
the public art? committee
Yeah.
thought.
It should be, what about the potholes?
Well, what about?
Oh, man.
Facebook fire.
All right, guys, so I know we all probably want to get out of here, so maybe we can just quickly wrap up with our just last few items, so that way we can still kind of chit chat after if we'd like. Yeah, what was the name again for that one? Sorry.
Should
Go ahead and read it now.
Wyatt Percy.
And where is this person from?
We'll find out. I got it.
A lot of their stuff is in California.
California, so they might be.
And that's what I thought it was.
I was like,
These people.
any state of that, because everyone hates California.
There's the resume, okay.
California, but other places too.
Hawaii, California.
Gets around.
Where's this?
Wyatt
Percy.
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 So good. For the
Gonna look 'em
device.
up.
John.
No, that's just like. somewhere.
Okay.
Clearly a professional. He's
Oh,
done this many times
absolutely.
before. Just the application looks like a pro PowerPoint.
Fish.
Pennsylvania?
This is, letter, what is letter?
That's so funny. I thought it was Josh Clank. I was.
You were
style was-
convinced?
I was
I know.
convinced. Here's his Instagram. It looks just like his
Cruz.
pictures.
It's from Santa Cruz.
Oh,
I still really,
Yeah, it's still my favorite. I think too, it's like what we talked about, it's like the content, making sure that someone has an understanding of, the place, at least through the visuals, it definitely
Yeah.
seems that way. So I think that's what's gonna be most important to people, hopefully. And if it's not, oh well. But yeah, I guess we could just kind of quickly go through our last few things here. So public art events and promotion opportunities. Is there any kind of public art things coming up that anyone wants to?
I heard a rumor that someone was taking over I want to say the Orville with that art session or the art place that Chris and that other lady run on
America.
Front Street. Are they taking over the art walk?
They are managing Art Walk, so Art Walk is February 2nd. This season they're doing 4 per year. Okay,
Cool.
so there'll be a spring one as well. I don't know the date for that. But yeah, February 2nd is Art Walk.
And who's taking that over?
Omerta, it's Chris Ricardo and Leah Cupino.
I've seen her stuff in Myrna.
So yeah, I wonder, I mean, one thing that we could do as a recruitment effort is like make little flyers that we can take around to galleries for Art Walk or something. And just see if they would have them out during Art Walk to see if people want to. I mean, chalk tents and stuff don't really work in the winter.
Yeah, nobody's.
But it would be nice to get the word out that we have 2 spots open right now.
Totally.
Get people onboarded.
Yeah, hand out a little stack of flyers to each gallery. That might be a smart thing to do.
Design wise, do you think that's something you could?
I could
help
do
with?
that, yeah.
Cool.
Maybe just really simple.
Very, yeah,
Facebook
totally.
page, and do you want to be on the board?
And a
Go to
QR
this
code to
website.
the application.
Make it-
Oh, do we have that QR code already? I've
We,
failed every time I've tried to make a QR code.
Oh, really? You have an Adobe subscription. They make
have
it
an
very
Adobe
easy.
Well, it's about getting the website, and there's a static QR code and there's a dynamic one where you can change the content. And a lot of, when you just get I can print them just fine.
Yeah.
It's just getting the QR code that goes to the place you want it.
wanted to.
And isn't a subscription that you have to start paying $15 a month for after 3 days or so. You get a trial,
Right.
and they don't tell you that until they give you the QR code.
And I can help with that too.
Yeah.
Because I make them for work all the
Okay,
time, so.
if you can supply me the QR code,
Mhm.
I'll do the graphic design for that.
Cool.
Okay.
Work.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's a great
I
thought.
can do the run around. I
Mhm.
can do delivery service.
Totally.
Is doing graphic design.
I think that kind of then falls into kind of communications announcements, especially with the dumpster murals wrapping up this Friday. I'm not sure we really need to kind of continue to promote that too much. Maybe we can post on Facebook one more time.
Yeah.
With that graphic
So we'll be during those submissions next month.
next month.
Dang, we're hitting our timeline. Good job, everybody.
And you're probably gonna be pretty busy on the 2nd for Art Walk.
Myrna is not subscribing.
Okay.
We don't get any patrons in the winter and we don't have an exhibit up on February 2nd. We'll be
So-
between shows, so.
Deadline to have these printed and in hand, in your hands, will be the last of this month. So you got 2 days to.
Yeah, I
distribute?
think so.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
Is
would
that
be
enough
plenty.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And Bridget, should I just print those or send them to you to send to your printers?
How many do you guys want?
I-
10 for each gallery, probably quarter sheet.
And I have a paper cutter at work. I can just chop so it can be on 8.5 by 11.
make it easy.
Just send it to us and get it.
They'll chop them for free. Printers do that.
Okay. Nice nonprofit.
You use-
Yeah. Not funded anything. We
Great, we have
do our
like
own fundraising.
100 or
So we want those printed in hand. 100 is only gonna be 10 galleries worth if we give them each 10.
how many galleries. A lot.
Let's do 250.
250, okay.
And that'll probably be more than we need.
250. Well, I'll staple some to the kiosks.
But we have our own budget for
Yeah,
printing and
Mhm.
yeah,
all the
that'll be
paper
plenty.
cutting.
If you want to, you can cut it off.
I am very good. I peaked in kindergarten and then just spent my whole life driving towards that career of how do I stay in kindergarten? And I've been very successful.
Get some paste, you can glue
Really
it
good
together
at
and make
that.
them two-sided.
And you were proud.
Maybe we'll even get our spots filled.
You're like, did you notice?
Okay, so
man, all
there's
right.
I'll try to have those to you by Monday, or the graphic to you
Cool.
by Monday. Can you have the QR code to me in the next
Totally.
2 or 3 days?
Yep, no problem. Great. And then I guess just items for next agenda. I think just really focusing on those dumpster submissions, knowing, just how long this took. And I think having meetings like this back to back, I think will be even more efficient with our time. But I'll try and I don't think we have anything else planned necessarily. So that way we could just really focus our attention on that. And then make plans as we move forward into spring. Is there any public comment before we adjourn?
Good job, guys. I know that was probably, I couldn't do that. I couldn't pick all those art pieces and pick my favorite, so was not envious of you guys, so good job.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, it's so exciting to see so many great submissions.
Yeah, there were some really good.
Mhm. All right, but yeah, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. And then we'd like to-
I move we adjourn.
Second that.
Great. All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, really thanks for your time. Really,
Thanks for putting all of that together. Those all the.
Thanks, Bridget, and Emily, for all the extra work.
Did you want to?
Yeah, we do want to. Thank you. Feel free to do that.